in the story There's a Tiger in the Garden by Lizzy Stewart, Laura meets a tiger in her grandmother's garden. Today I thought we'd make a tiger puppet. Here's one that I made already. And I've got a twig out of my garden, but you could use a lollipop stick or maybe a straw or anything that you could use to hold your tiger puppet with. I've used cardboard to make my tiger puppet, and you're going to need some sort of either really thick paper or card. I've used some cardboard off a box that came with a delivery. It's not really thick because we're going to need scissors to cut the cardboard, and the thicker the cardboard is, the harder it's going to be for you to cut. So you're going to need something not really thin, but not too thick if possible. You're also going to need a pencil, some glue, and something to make your tiger the right colours, because today I'd like us to make a tiger that is the colours of a real tiger. So today we're thinking about making our tiger look the correct colours, and tigers are usually like an orangey reddy gold colour with black and white sometimes around their face. I didn't have a white pen or any white paint at the moment, but you might have some white as well. So my tiger, he's got stripes on him because tigers have stripes. Now there are other big cats that have spots, such as a leopard or a cheetah. And then that king of the jungle, the lion, he doesn't have stripes. He's just like a golden brown colour, and the boys, the males, have a big furry ruff around their neck. So it's only the tiger that has stripes on him for the big cats. Sometimes you see cats around Alice Street that have stripes on them a little bit, and they must be a relation of the tiger. There are other animals with stripes on them. Can you think of an animal with stripes on it? You wouldn't see it in your garden, but you would see it in Africa. Have a think about another animal apart from a tiger that has stripes. I'll give you a clue. They're black and white stripes. That's the one I'm thinking about. Anyway, let's have a look at making a tiger puppet. Okay. You're going to need to get your pencil, and you've got to draw the body parts of your tiger. So on here I've got a body, a head and a tail, and I've stuck them together. So for the body, we need to think about making like an oval shape, which is not really a circle because it's more like a squashed circle. So I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to come down, and I'm going to do almost like an egg shape for the body. Okay, and then I'm going to do my head. And for the head, again, I'm going to think about an oval shape, but on the side this time, I'm going to go a bit more like this, sort of ovally shape. And then you need some pointy ears. I'm going to put those on. You could cut the ears out and stick them on if you wanted to. And then I need a tail. I'm going to do, because they have quite a long tail, tigers do. So I'm just going to do a rounded bit on the end and make it nice and long like that. Okay, that's all you need to do first is draw these shapes. You've got an oval shape there for the body, and then an oval shape on the side for the head, triangular ears, and then a sort of a long snaky shape for the tail. You need to cut those out. And again, as I say, it's quite tough cutting out on cardboard, so you might need some help. These I've already cut out. Now, before I stick them together or do anything else, I'm going to colour them with the right colours. Now, you might have paint, which is great as well, or crayons or chalk. I've got an orange pen here, and I'm going to go over it first, all over, with my orange pen. Now, you're going to say, what about the stripes, Mrs. Rowan? But when you are using a black pen, now you know that black is the darkest of all the colours. I will be able to go over my orangey colour with the black, because the black is much darker than the orange. Now I wouldn't be able to put the orange on top of the black, you wouldn't see that, because the black is too dark for the orange to show up. But you can put dark on top of light. You can't put light on top of dark, usually it doesn't work. You can get these nice fancy paint pens and they sometimes work. My daughter's got a white pen which is pretty cool, and that has a special type of ink in it. You can go over black and everything with that, but that's a bit of a special pen. Usually we just need to do dark on top of light. So I'm colouring all of this in orange. So whatever you're using, just colour it so that we've got the body nice and orange. Okay, almost finished his head. And then we'll do the tail. Okay, there we go. Now remember, when you're colouring as well, if you are using a pen like I've got here, if you go over the same bit too much, it starts getting too wet and all the paper comes up, doesn't it? And goes a bit lumpy bumpy. We don't want that. You can, if you miss a bit, let it dry and then go over again. Okay, so we've got that all coloured. So that's the body. Now I need to, let's do his head first. Okay, so I'm going to get my black pen now and we can go onto the orange. Now I'm going to do some eyes. So he's going to have two eyes, because again, most living creatures have two eyes. If you're creating a monster or one of your own imaginary creatures, that's fine for him to have 8 eyes, but we're doing this as real as possible, aren't we, today? So it's going to have 2 big eyes, and then I'm going to need a nose. Now if you have a look at pictures of cats' noses, they have that little crease here, and I'm going to go down and then out and out again. Okay, and then what else do I need? I'm going to cover a little bit of black on his ears, and then there's like a little pointy bit in there, and then I need some stripes. I'm going to do like little V's and then fill them in. It's going to have a stripy face. Now again, as I say, if you've got any white paint, you could put a little bit of white, because if you look at some photographs of tigers, they do have white on them as well. Now I've got some yellow paint here, but if you had like maybe a nice yellow crayon, you could do his eyes. I'm going to do his eyes yellow. Just going to do a splodge there. And that is all I need to do for my face. So I need to work on my body to put his stripes on there. I'm going to start at the top and then do those V's again. I'm going to do the V's first and then I'll colour them in. There's a big one there, big stripe. And this side. Tigers, when you look at photographs, if you have a look on the internet, or maybe you've got some nice books, they often have stripes that don't go all the way into their tummy. They have these nice soft furry looking tummies, sometimes have white on their tummies. I wouldn't be brave enough to tickle a tiger's tummy though. They're not like a pussycat, really. I know they are big cats, they're in that same family, in the feline family, but they're wild creatures and they like to live in the jungle. But in the story, they were living in Laura's grandma. Well, one was anyway, wasn't he? Living in Laura's grandma's garden. I don't think I've ever seen a tiger in my garden. I've definitely seen some pussycats though, who think they're tigers, that's for sure. Okay, here we go. So that's my body, and then my tail, I'm just going to do stripes on here, because when you look at the tiger's tail, the stripes go all the way around like little rings. It's very, very cute. Now we need to get our glue. Because this card is heavier than paper, you're going to need quite a lot of glue. Remember that the heavier something is that you're gluing, the more glue you're going to need. So I'm going to put a good amount of glue on there. Oh, I've smudged my eyes. Look, I forgot that my eyes were still wet. That's okay. I will put some more paint on there in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to put his head on his body. And then I need to do his tail. So I'm going to stick a bit of glue on the back again. And then I'm going to put his tail on. There we go, we're starting to look like a puppet, but now I need to put I'm going to use a lollipop stick this time. But again, I say, remember, you can use a twig or maybe a straw, or you could even, if you've got some really good strong cardboard, cut a bit of cardboard out into a strip and then stick it on. So now I'm using quite a lot of glue because my lollipop stick's quite heavy, and I'm going to squash that on there and press it down. Now all of this is going to have a good dry, and then there you go, you've got a tiger puppet. Rah.